Hello and welcome to this video. I am super excited to be making this. It's probably going to be a longer video, but I am going to be talking about everything that Tiny Glade has to offer with the full release coming out next week on the 23rd, a week from today of when this video is being published. I do just want to give a very quick thanks to Anna and Tom, who are the developers of Tiny Glade. They very generously gave me early access to the game, and they definitely didn't need to, but I am very thankful for this opportunity that I've been given. I have definitely spent more time in the game than I should have within the last week, but I wanted to prepare things for this video as well as just to get a glimpse and a good understanding of what everything this game has to offer before I make this video. I do want to quickly talk about the price range or just some simple questions people maybe have been asking. First of all, of course, the game is decided to launch next week on Monday, September 23rd on Steam, and the price range is not yet to have been decided, but it is going to be anywhere between 10 USD to 20 USD. And from looking at the frequently asked questions, it has also been denoted that the demo is going to close next week. So once the game officially launches on Steam, you are no longer going to be able to play the game for free. You're going to have to purchase it if you want to continue playing with it, and the demo is no longer going to be accessible. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop straight into just like talking about everything that the game has. Okay, so I put together a little testing glade, and I'll talk about the different glades at the end as well as the glade sizing comparison. But I first kind of want to talk about all the tools in the toolbar. I'll start with the easiest tool. I was gonna go left to right, but just because it's one of the easiest tools to understand, is the time tool all the way on the right. Also, if you hit T on your keyboard, you would toggle it yourself. You can change where the sun is positioned throughout the day, so you can change it between nighttime or like sunrise, sunset, that's what's it called? The morning glow, the sunshine hour. You can also change the positioning of the sun. So this is at the same time, and you can just change it so the shadows can all be in different spots, and you can get it so you can get good lighting specifically where you want it to be on your glade. I definitely use this quite often, especially when I try to find where I want my sunlight to be. And you can change the passage of time. This just makes it so time is consistently moving and the sun will naturally be changing. I typically have it off when I'm building, but that is just the time tool in general. Okay, now let's officially get started with all of the tools. I'm gonna start with the far left, which is the building tool, or at least I'm gonna refer to it as the building tool. So we have two main buildings. We have the circular building, which is the exact same as in the demo, as well as a square building. And if you hit one, you'll trigger the tool itself. Now, contrary to what I thought would happen, is we have the exact same like minimum size and the exact same maximum size as we did in the demo. I thought it was gonna change slightly, but they're the exact same just in general. I honestly don't mind it. I kind of wish we had a bigger maximum size, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm already just super excited about the game in the entirety, so I can't say that I mind. We only have these two, and although it seems really limited, you can layer buildings in of itself, so you can create any sort of shape that you want as long as you find the creativity to do so. They're the exact same as in the demo though. I will say the thing that had the biggest change when coming to the sizing of these buildings is the height verticality. I made this in the demo so I could reach the demo height limits, but I wanted to quickly show off the new vertical maximum when playing the game. The minimum is the exact same, you can't lower any further, but when taking, you can layer multiple like circle bits on top of each other and whatnot. Now this isn't perfectly centered, but regardless, if I can't raise this any higher here, and the roof is already at its maximum. But if we raise the top bit, you'll notice it can go so much higher. I think it's increased by maybe about 150%. I'm probably just wrong about that in general, but it actually is probably just by like, it probably doubled in height. But it looks absolutely insane, and I don't mind it. I'm super excited to see what kind of builds I can have with a height line that tall. The next thing though, in the build tool section, we have the same wall as we did in the demo. You're able to move it and reshape it. It's a freehand wall tool, and we have the exact same tool, but instead of a brick wall, it creates a fence. Now, we all knew this was coming with all of the like diaries that the devs released, as well as in the trailer and the builds that you can see on the Steam page. But we do have this. The height limit of the fence is shorter than the height limit of the wall, and that makes sense. I mean, it typically works the same way in real life. But it's definitely really nice, and they're practically the same kind of thing. When you draw a path through it though, if you draw it through the brick wall, you get a curved brick archway, and when you draw it through the fence, you get a more rectangular, blocky kind of fence archway. I will say, just like you can control the height of the brick archway, you can control the height of the fence archway, and for some reason here it goes really high. I will say, and I can probably point this out in other glades, but for some reason when I've built in other builds, I've managed to get a really high height limit when it comes to this, but in other builds, or like depending on where I place it, I've only managed to get a like maximum of like, let's say about this much, or even just slightly higher. It doesn't go as high as that does, and I don't know what controls that, but that is just something I've noticed throughout my time playing in this past week. So that is the 4 tool builds that we have offered here, and I'll talk about all the colors and everything when we get to the Recolouring Tool. The next thing I will say is this is the exact same as in the demo, but the path tools work just like the same. We have the same 3 sizes, and you're only able to create dirt paths for now. I don't know if there's plans for any other future pathing tools, but we have a smaller dirt path which creates more of green in between, and then we have 2 other sized dirt paths to pick and choose from. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the decoration tools, and this makes me really excited because we have some new tools that are unlocked for us. Starting left to right, we have the same window tool as we had in the demo. So the window tools work the exact same. When placed up against a house or a circle, you can change the window type to see what is on it. And also these things spawn around it when you place windows and doors. That's kind of what fills up the area and makes it feel a lot more lived in and lively, in my opinion. And with the full release, we have so many new types of things that spawn in. So we have the ladder, which is a classic from the demo, but we also have like a wheat barrel, not a wheat barrel, but like we have like the wheat thing there. We have some gardening tools and some like veggies. You know, there's quite a bit of things that are now added, like a birdhouse. There's also the bench, which can come in like half, but we have a bunch of new things that will spawn in. And you can also combine the window tools to make either 2 or 3. And with these windows, you can place them on the side as well as on the rooftop and creating a dormer, all of which can be made in those 3 sizes. And this hasn't changed from the demo version, except we just have some new decorations that will spawn in. We do now though have a brand new window type, which is this Gothic type of archway windows, and I think it looks really nice. I love the look of this window. Oh, briefly mention, if you place a window on top of a building that's on like a little plateau, you will create a door that just goes right on top of that. So the same happens with this window. When you place it on the floor, you get a newly like Gothic type of arched shape door, and you can make it 2 and 3 wide, just like you can with the other window. You can also make it 3 wide with the window itself. You are not able to put it on a diagonal like such, but you have those 3 shaped windows, and they can create popping out of the rooftop as well as creating a dormer for the top as well. I think it looks really nice. I'm really excited about this. I love these windows. It's definitely one of my favorite things that were added with the full release. We also have this 3rd type of window. It's kind of like a hole in the wall. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. You can't put them next to each other. If you're holding control like I am, then you are. But if I stop holding control, you'll see that it tries to make a vertically longer like hole in the wall slit, something to look through. And you can place a 3rd one, which gets you like this sword shape kind of looking one, which I think looks pretty neat as well. And they work on all of them. They don't go on fences. All the windows just don't go on fences. So those are the 3 types of windows, and I think they're really neat. They're really fun additions to the game, and you can definitely spice up any of your builds and the style of your builds with them. Lantern wise, we have it works the exact same way as it did in the demo. You can place it on the ground and you'll get the little pole, and you can change the direction that the lamp faces in, as well as placing it on the wall. You can place them on the corners and hanging off on those walls as well. And if you place them on plateaus, you'll put them just straight on like this. So that's always really fun. I do know if you want to place one but you want the stick coming out, what you can do is you can move the pole and then make this bigger, and that will get it so you can have it coming out like that. You can change the colors of these as well, but I will once again talk about all the colors next. The next really fun decoration that's been added is this banner or flag tool. It works similarly to the lanterns, where you can place it on the ground and you can change the direction that it functions or views in. But if you place another one and they're close together, they'll create a little line of little flags that are next to each other, which I think is really cute. I really like it. They have different like designs on them, and if you click on them, let's see. If you click, where do you click? On the pole. If you click on them, you'll be able to like cycle through all of the different banner designs, which are super cute. There's a couple of them. I think there's 6, but I didn't count, so you can also place them on walls, and depending on where they are placed, the length of it will change. So you can have a maximum length of that such, and it can obviously shrink or increase as well. So yeah. They're really fun. You also, I just wanted to have it display. You can also, just like the lanterns, hang them on the side of the walls. There you go. As well as just straight on the wall itself, but I've started to run out of room. But you can place them anywhere you would like. They work essentially the exact same as lanterns in that sense. And the last offered decoration tool, which was added because everyone in the demo used to create chimneys with a wall that they would like make a circle of and then increase the height of. With this one, they gave us a chimney tool. Now this you can place on the side of any sort of like building. You can place them on walls as well, except this wall is, that is really cute. I didn't realize it looks like that. That is really cute. It doesn't change color. That's the first time I've seen that. I didn't realize it does that. Because I know you can place it like that. I guess it has to be on the other side of the wall. I played this full access for like 35 hours and I'm just realizing it. But you're able to put these on walls as well, not on fences, but you can place them anywhere connected to a building. You're able to place them higher or lower, and it depends where. I guess you can also, that's so interesting. I'm surprised I haven't seen that in like my 35 hours of playing this game. I'm not meaning to say how much hours I've played because it's actually insane. But you can also put them just straight on top of the roofs as well if you don't want the side bit hanging out. And you are able to change, the height of them as well. And they go up pretty high, to be honest. I don't think you can change the height of these ones. Okay, no. I thought it was just going insane. But those are all of the decoration tools that we have now accessible in the in the full game. The developers do say that they have plans of having updates and perhaps adding new things to the game later on, but right now their focus is releasing the game and getting ready for the launch next week. So let's just enjoy everything it has to offer for now. One of the most exciting things though is probably all of the color palettes in the game. Starting with, let's just start with this wall, I suppose. The walls and the buildings have the exact same color palettes. So you have this pinkish brick that we had in the demo, but in the demo you actually weren't allowed to change it back to this brick. So it's nice to know that we're able to easily change it back to the brick if you change colors of it. We have this yellow or golden type of orange bricks as well, and the whitish stone that we had in the demo, as well as a gray and a darker gray or like a black shade per se. And then we have a red plaster as well, and an orange, which I believe we had in the demo, as well as this peachy pink kind of shade, a white, which we definitely had in the demo, this light green, a blue, and a black plaster. And you'll also notice for the brick walls we have this tool. And before, I think in my demo video I said I didn't know what it does. If you raise it high enough, it creates this line in between here. So with it turned off, you get rid of the line. And the same works over here. If you turn it off, you get rid of that line. But something to note is in this color palette, you get the exact same colors for the builds as I just explained with the wall. The plaster definitely looks a lot cleaner per se, but they still have a little bit of the bricks showing and whatnot, so it's not completely perfect, which I think is really cute. But as well as taking that off and having that line here, you are now also allowed to add a little bit of that wood type of frame lining. And when you click on the Recolouring tool again, you are able to change the color of this. You're able to change the color of this wood. So you have like the white, the brown that it spawns in with, dark brown, black, reddish pink, purple, blue, green, light green, and green, which I think is really cute. You have a lot of cute color combinations you're going to be able to do with this. Along with that, the roof also has a bunch of new color palettes. Along with the red and the green that we saw in the demo quite often, we now also have access to a gray, a brown, as black as you're gonna get type of gray, a blue, a teal, kind of cyan, light green, and green. And for the chimney itself, you get all of the same brick colors that we have offered for the house. There's a lot of things that can be recolored in this game. The fences have quite the color combinations as well. We have a white, the brown that it spawns in with, a darker brown, black, red, purple, blue, light green, and dark green. And then now let's talk about the banner colors, just because I'm just going to go in a circle real quick. We're able to change the color of the banners. Something to duly note is that we have this button down here which will turn off the these triangles here, and it will put, if it's on like the wall, if you turn it off, it will put this triangle bit above it, just so you're aware that it does not connect to it. And it only needs one to be turned off for both of these not to connect. If we were to place another one on, like, let's say this side, but only this one was turned off, then these two will still connect. But color-wise, color-wise, we have a cute little yellow, and do notice that when you recolor it, the banners actually switch colors in the middle. So we have a yellow, a red, a purple, the blue that it spawns in with, a green, and a black. Okay. And then the window colors. The windows have the exact, I don't think they have the exact same shades. They're about the same. So the doors and the windows of this type are the same colors. We have the white, the brown it spawns in with, a darker brown, a black, the red that we had in the demo as well, the purple, the light blue, the light green, and the dark green I think that we had in the demo. And the windows are the exact same shades of colors, which I really like that they're so cohesive in that they're all like pretty much the same color palette. The window itself, we have this one that doesn't change color, so you have the one that it spawns in with, as well as a more white, a brown, a darker brown, a black, a red, purple, blue, light green, and dark green. And this smaller window you're not able to change the color of. Lanterns, you're able to change the color of to any 5, and it changes the glow of it. So over here, I have them all in different colors, just so we can turn it to nighttime and we can see all those colors like in combination. So we have that yellow, a blue, a green, a pink kind of glow, and finally the purple shade of glow as well. So there are just all of these cute little colors. I think that's all of them that need to be mentioned. I don't think I'm missing anything. So I did place all of the colors like next to each other because I wanted to show them off. I wanted to show off something there, but let me add in a couple of these colors that got erased. These are all of the colors of like the roofs and even just like the windows itself that I just showed previously. It's not too much to take a look at, as well as the chimney colors that I also have offered in all of the bricks, and all of the colored options here for the bricks and the fences. This is just so it's all on one screen and you're able to take notice of it all. And the fences with the same type of archways. I think it's super neat and super colorful. I also do have all of the window, like the doors in their colors and the shapes that they have. So this is this gothic archway kind of shape that we have here. And this is, once again, if you put it on top of like a raised platform. And then we have those same colors over here on the more square kind of doors as well. And something to note is that doors that you create using pathways, so if you draw a pathway up to a house, you are able to create doors, and when you change the colors, it actually changes the colors of all the doors on the same building. And I thought that was super interesting because if you have multiple windows per se and you try to recolor it, it won't change the color of all the windows on the thing. But all the doors here are the same shade. Something you might have noticed me using is the eraser tool. I will talk about this probably last just so I can talk about them all in tangent together. The terrain tools, we have 4 of them unlocked. The first one is these hill or mountain type, where you're able to create and reshape to however you like. And when you put a path up against multiple of these shapes, if there's a difference, it'll automatically create some stairs for you. When building, it's a brush tool, so you're able to draw it as much as you like, and the smallest size turns out to be of a shape like this. If you want to place another tool here to change the shape in between, you can just hold down Control and draw, and it won't connect them together. But one thing to note is the height of this did not change. You can change the height just going up and down with your mouse, but going left and right, you are able to change the steepness and the slope of the tool. So you can have it more mountainous for all your softer type of builds, or you can have it a lot rougher for any sort of power-like builds. I don't know how else to put it, but you do have that terrain tool. You also have the flower brush tool. So in between different glades, you have different colors. This is a brush tool, so when you draw with it, you will have in the summer glade some purple hyacinths, some pink and blue petals with some rocks all along the side. The tool works the same, just some different colorations in between all the different glades. And when you click a second time in between already painted flowers, you'll create a lot fluffier and bigger bushes. And this creates some white roses as well as some purple hyacinths. I like to assume they're hyacinths. As well. And so you're able to create some sort of scenery along with stuff like that. We also have a tree tool where you're able to just put trees wherever you like, whenever, and you can also move these trees by holding down with them. From what I've seen is that we have 6 main different types of trees, because I think this is about the same as one over here. There's a ton of variations, but the height wise you kind of have like a smaller or a taller tree, and these do change between all the glade types as well, but they're all pretty much similar with just different colorations. And the last terrain tool, which I think a lot of people are super excited about, I see a lot of this talk within comments of the Discord, or like in the chats of the Discord, which is also linked in the description below. But this is another tool where you can brush it on and just draw, and the further you draw out circle wise, the more like depth the middle part of the pond has itself, and ducks will fly over to your ponds, which I think is simply really adorable. Now if you wanted to create like rocks in the middle, you can't add landscaping here, but taking the erase tool, you can erase some water and it'll create some landmass of which you can use your landscaping on, and you can reshape it if you also desire wanting to change something like that. That's something fun. I will note the water is really fun in the sense that you're able to place trees in it, so you can create something like some sort of mangrove or like just a grove in the water type of feel, as well as flowers. You're able to draw flowers here, and they'll have these lily pads with flowers that spawn with it, and I think it's really cute. I really love this detail. I was super excited when I realized I can just have lily pads with flowers and I can paint them on wherever I want. And the last recent thing I realized about water is if you take a path tool and you draw in the water, you actually kind of get these stepping stone type of rocks. And I think it's such a cute little detail. I wasn't expecting it when I noticed it at first, but I think it is super cute. So that is all of the terrain tools. The erasing tool works really well. I actually really like how erasing in this system works. We can change the size of the brush itself when clicked on it. Ooh. That was strange. What just happened? Okay, I don't know what happened. It like took me into the camera view. So we're able to change the brush size. This is the largest our brush size will get. So for example, with the largest brush size, you'll get about that size when erasing, and with the smallest size, you'll get probably about that much. But the way that this works is, other than changing the tools, you have to erase flowers using the flower erase tool. And when you erase with flowers, if you drag from the side, it can slowly start diminishing the big, fluffier bushes. If you want something more subtle along, like let's say your path and you have too much big bushes, you can just slowly start erasing from the side and it will decrease the sizing for you. You can erase trees with this one, which might be useful, as when I talk about glades in a minute, it can be useful for you. You can erase the water like I just showed, however you like. This one is pretty fun. You're able to erase buildings just directly with this brush. It just will erase whatever it wants you to erase. We have the path tool, which only erases paths, and I like how these tools don't intersect with other things. So it'll erase exactly what it needs to erase. And the last one is the sledgehammer type of erasing tool, where wherever you click, it will just erase. So these are for like your smaller details. You aren't able to erase any of the terrain tools with this, but this is for the details in the builds itself. I'll talk about the camera tool, but I'll go into a glade so that way we have something nice to look at when we talk about it. I've launched up my old glade and we're gonna hop into the camera mode. You'll notice when you first hop into the mode, you will be launched into the same camera mode that we had previously. On the far left, you have the folder. If you click that, it will pop open the folder that holds all of your photos that you take within Tiny Glade. The next thing is how you hold the camera. So this first one is what you'll be launched into. It creates this field of vision that you have around, and you can move this to however you want. It also has this kind of lighter movement when moving your camera. I definitely like this when doing cinematic shots, but it is however you please. You also have this free flying camera. This will allow you to fly however you like when going about, and you're able to move a lot more freely. Zooming in and zooming out takes a little bit more effort of you, but you can definitely zoom in and get all of those details that per se you wanted to show off. The next tool is you have the walking tool like we had. We also had this in the demo. These three we had in the demo. It just puts you in the perspective of maybe you were wanting to see, like, walk around your town. I didn't launch a town, I launched one building, so it's harder to see, but that is something to really note. And the last tool that we have recently unlocked is this bird's eye view. It creates this type of look where you can look from above and you can see I made a symmetrical build. That was my goal with this. But you're not able to shift your camera around too much. You just get a nice bird's eye view. So if you create a town, you can see probably about, like, oh, I want like maybe a road leading through here and I want the path to look nicely. You can take a nice photo of that. When you fully zoom out though, you aren't able to see the entirety of the map, I don't think. You can see the majority of it, but at least on my computer, I don't think you're able to see the entirety of it, but it's pretty close to it. After this, we have this tool which allows you to change the wide, like your zoom in or zoom out, as well as like a wide angle type of view. This is very subtle, so it takes an eye to spot it if you know what you're looking for. It kind of like zooms into the middle and then zooms out of the side a little. Warps the perspective. So you're able to change that as well. As for this one, it will change whether or not how blurry you want the background to be and how much you want to focus. And this is that effect that puts it in the corners. I forgot what it's called. I know it starts with a V, like a VIG, but do I know what it's called off the top of my head? not really. This we also had in the demo, which you're able just to change the focus size of what you're trying to capture. This button allows you to take the photo, so if you click it, it will just take it, it'll put the little watermark, and it'll tell you what screenshot was taken. So you're able to just move it around and take how many screenshots you want, and it won't have this toolbar in the way. We have this tool, which allows you to almost like edit the photo like you can in your camera roll. You can raise or decrease the saturation of the tool, of the camera. You can also increase or decrease the brightness of your view for the camera. And, or this is the contrast. This is the brightness. You can increase or decrease the brightness there. This is contrast. Something that people have definitely noticed in the screenshots on the Steam wishlist page and whatnot is we have this filter tool. It allows you to see your build from however you're viewing it at the current moment. So if we zoom in just a little bit, let's say, and we hit the filter tool, it's now where we were last positioned. And let's say you were to click on one, it changes the perspective and like how you see your build. And when you take a photo, it'll take a photo just like this. But when you get out of the camera view, it will go back to normal. I believe this one is your normal one, so you can always set it back to normal. The last tool, which I think there was a lot of speculation about what this tool could be. I remember just seeing discussions of it on the Discord. This is the painter's tool, so it adds like artist effect. One of my favorite things is this tree tool. So when you go in closer, you can look through trees a lot easier than, let's say, if it was off. And this also works in this mode. So if we just place down a tree, you are now able to see through it. But in camera mode, if we were to turn it off, the tree is there, and the tree is once still off in like builds mode, life mode, whatever you want to call it. But that one allows you just to see through trees itself, to take a look at your builds. This one will kind of frame the artwork just as if you hit escape, kind of. I remember I always liked how some of the builds would look when it was frozen like this, and now you're able to take a photo looking just like that without having to see the menu on the left side. And you're also able to stack all three of these. But the last one is this one, which allows you to kind of put it in this black and, well, more of this white kind of model type. This feels as if you're going to 3D print this, in my opinion, and I think it looks so cool how it looks. As far as I know, you're not going to be able to export these files so you can 3D print or anything. I believe the developers have also mentioned that they don't have a plan for that, or at least they don't have one yet. I'm not sure if they'll ever get one, but you do have this mode where you're able to kind of just move it back and forth between that. So that is all of the builds, or the camera modes, and all of the tools. I'm gonna briefly talk about all of the different types of glades, and now with this version you are able to access all of your older glades that you have created before. Especially if you created more than 3, all of those locked ones, you are now able to access and see and build upon them once again. But if you create a new glade, we now have the daily theme, and today's theme is the 2 neighbors as of recording this video, and they restart at the same time for everyone. And when you hit daily theme, what I've noticed is that you get the same preset glade as everyone else, so no matter how many times you create this glade under the daily theme, you'll get the same glade that is set. But since tomorrow the daily theme is going to be different, you'll get a different preset glade, so that's just something to duly know. And now we also have access to all of the new glades. So we have summer, autumn, Olden, Flowery, and winter. And I'm going to do a little showcase of each build I've done in all of these, as well as a quick voiceover. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Alrighty, so this first glade type that I'm talking about is actually my first build I made in the full released access that I got. This is the Flowery type. There are pink petals on the floor. The water looks really soft and calming, very peaceful. I can just drive right in on a spring day. The flowers are more purple and they're softer overall. It has a more whimsical feel with the pink trees and the very light green bushes and lily pads. This next type is the Autumn Glade. This one has obviously the orange trees that you can see. The flowers are more magenta and purple, and there's more blue petals when you're making those bushes. This one I definitely think is a very festive and lively type of glade. I can definitely see more villages and everything being built upon here, especially if you want more of a lively feel. The colors definitely can help stand out and create very festive kind of colors, and I think the black looks really good with the orange like trees. The next type is the Olden type, and this one obviously gives me very much witchy vibes. It felt very fitting to put it into a nighttime kind of look. We have dead trees in this glade, the other two did not, but this one, it kind of has more of a foggy feel. The trees are a little bit more saturated in the green sense, but they're not overly bright. It definitely has a certain feel to it, and the flowers itself are more bluer and indigo more so than a brighter shade, so it adds this more spooky feel. And finally, this is the winter type of glade. I'm not showcasing the summer glade because I have a ton of those videos on the on my channel already, and this is the exact opposite. If you might notice, there are snow on top of the rooftops. For the planter box windows, the flowers itself definitely look like they've been snowed on and look a little bit more dead. This one also has dead trees, but it also has those orange and kind of brownish type of leaves as it's kind of dying. The water also in this glade is frozen, so it's not flowing water, and when you put the flowers on the river, it creates this dead grass type of look that you can see here. This is also the biggest build I made. I'm going to have speed builds of all of these coming up, but I do want to just give a quick thanks once again to the developers of Tiny Glade for giving me early access, and for anyone who stuck around this long, I hope you guys are super excited for the 23rd because I'm excited to see everyone's builds. I hope you guys have a lovely day and I will see you guys next time.